internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our script. Let's get right into today's video. There was an exclusive interview done by Mr. J.Wallis. He's been working at Ripple for almost 5 years now, and he's the VP Central Bank Engagements and CBDCs is his title. And this video has only 445 views, and it was published about a week ago. You got to listen to what he says here. It's a 22-minute video. I'll leave the link in the description down below. But in today's episode, I've taken out the good portions. I'm going to talk about it. One of the topics we're going to talk about is a private version of the XRP ledger. Can a value of XRP be different on a public and a private? $100 on private and $1 on the public. In today's episode, I'm going to tell you if that's possible. And you got to listen to what he says here. I mean, we've been saying this for a very long time. When he's asked about why Ripple was selected to look over the National Bank of Georgia's digital gel pilot, it's pretty much what we said. It comes down to Ripple's track record, and listen to how many times he covers that. And just the background on J.Wallis, he previously worked at IBM before joining Ripple for 17 years and 7 months. VP of blockchain, VP of global payment industry, VP of development and software. I mean, this individual is such a valuable asset to have at Ripple. It blows my mind, and it blows my mind that people don't see where Ripple is going. Like I said, it's going to be much bigger than Amazon, much bigger than Tesla, Apple. It's going to make them look like peanuts compared to what Ripple is about to do right now. But take a listen to what he says here about they haven't even started live pilots yet.
You know, what they want to do next. So they want to expand, do different use cases or so forth. So, you know, our role as a technology partner and bringing our experiences, you know, we'll work in a sort of agile way with the national bank. You know, you discover things as you go on these journeys, but that's broadly the time frame. So the next few months planning, and then the following sort of 7 or 8 months is the real pilot.
And he covers tokenizing bonds and real estate. Before I get into the clip, remember, the bond market is massive. Here's the countries that are ranked from, this is the top 10. We have the US at 51 trillion, China at 20 trillion, Japan at 11 trillion. And before we get into what James says, take a listen to what Burke Etwistle says here about just tokenization.
You think about some of the opportunities in those markets now around the world to tokenize financial assets, corporate bonds, the settlement of which is extremely onerous and takes forever. The notion of tokenizing financial products in those markets is very exciting.
Private asset space is a $290 trillion market around the world. That's bigger than publicly traded securities.
I mean, depending on whose report you read, it varies between 300 trillion and 700 trillion. Right? The sky's the limit. So, Lawrence, my guess will be someday everything will be tokenized, and we won't stop until that day.
And here we have J.Wallis.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But with this project, I think one of the distinctions about it is there's looking at tokenizing bonds, so retail consumers can get access to bond securities. Looking at tokenizing real estate, there's a payroll element to the pilot, and then there's an offline element. So this is when you have your mobile phone, if you have no internet connection, you can still make purchases. So.
And now take a listen to what James says when he's asked about why was Ripple selected to do this pilot. And I mean, he doesn't really get too into detail, but he pretty much covers, he mentions it 3 times how it's their track record.
Pilot, so it's, you know, it's a,
absolutely.
I would call it an advanced experiment on the way towards some real system. So, you know, we took some time, and I think ultimately there's probably 2 or 3 reasons why, I think the reasons why we were selected. Firstly is, you know, ultimately we're a technology provider, and we have developed technology specifically for CBDC, using technology based on blockchain. That technology has been actually used for more than 10 years, so it's sort of lower risk from that perspective because it's been used. And then also we, as a company, Ripple is about 11 years old, which is not very old compared to the country of Georgia, but for a fintech, it's fairly well established, and we've been running payment systems globally for 10 years.
That is music to my ears. Go ahead and smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen. All the OG viewers know we've been saying this for a very long time. Ripple's track record, that's what they're looking at. And look, we have J.Wallis saying it. I mean, just wow, that's all I got to say. And to wrap up the video, let's talk about two different values for XRP. Can it happen?
So basically, the technology that we're creating for the digital lari is a private blockchain, but it's based on the technology used in the public blockchain. So the public blockchain that we use is called the XRP ledger. It's a publicly available open source blockchain technology. And what we do for each country we're working with, we create a new private version. So you can only use the blockchain if you are permissioned to do so. So we've got the advantage of that is the XRP ledger technology is proven. It has been processing billions of transactions. But central banks like to have things a little bit more private. So we have created a private version. So it's a little bit of a hybrid to answer your question.
But definitely it's absolutely independent platform, which is specifically performed for each project where you evaluate.
Yes, yeah.
Let's talk about two different values for XRP. Can it happen?
Yes, yeah.
Will it happen? In my opinion, 100% no, and I'm going to tell you the reasons why. Market perception, just think about it. From an IPO perspective from Ripple, just one scope. There's a lot of scopes I'm not going to get into, but if you have any kind of logic or looking into financial markets as a whole, I mean, look at this market perception. The existence of different valuation for what might be perceived as the same asset, right, XRP, could lead to confusion or skepticism among stakeholders, affecting the asset's reputation or trust in the controlling entity. This is just a minor con. Regulatory headache. I mean, this would be the burden, the regulatory headache surrounding this when you're trying to connect 200 economies together, and let's say each private version of the XRP ledger has different values. Oh my goodness, I have a headache just thinking about it. Implementing this and maintaining the necessary control and mechanisms for safe and compliant asset transfers between a private and public ledger adds complexity and cost. That's the last thing that banks want. They don't need any more complexity. Why do they want to worry about two different values on a public and a private version of the XRP ledger? Logically thinking, when you're really looking to scale into the trillions, this is just a big fat no. Even with strict controls, because it would have strict controls if you're implementing this method, there's always a risk. And a risk a bank will never take, that a determined actor might find a loophole to the system, especially if substantial profits can be made from valuation discrepancies. Think about it. Think about $1 XRP on a public ledger and a private version has $1,000 because they're moving trillions. If somebody does a loophole and gets through, goodbye to the Ripple ecosystem. You are done. You're losing trillions of dollars, and that is going to be one of the largest financial losses this planet has ever seen. And the reason why I'm speaking like that is because we're talking big numbers at this point. If they were to find a loophole, I mean, and think about it, you got to worry about the 200 economies that are all connected to this new system. It doesn't make sense. Go ahead and smash that like button, because I know I cleared some of your thoughts on that one. It's not going to happen. Don't be distracted between two different values of XRP on a private and a public. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Patience is one of the best assets that money cannot buy. But disciplining yourself, understanding what you hold, and understanding where the future is headed towards in regards to the whole crypto ecosystem. I always say this and I'll say it again. Forget all the fundamentals in crypto. Forget what the purpose is, the utility behind it is. Just understand that it's here to stay, and the market cap as a whole, crypto industry, is approaching $2 trillion. And just know, you and I are both going to be here alive and well. Stay healthy, go to the gym, do not mess this up. That's all. You got one task to do as a human being right now. If you're a crypto holder or a hodler for a very long time, stay healthy and stay alive. We're at a $2 trillion market cap, and we will see this in our lifetime at 20, 30, 40, 50, $60 trillion. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys, and we will be back with another episode. Let me know what you guys think of the private and public ledger and the different values for XRP. And remember, it all comes down to track record, and I cannot believe J.Wallis himself pretty much repeated what we have been yelling on the top of our lungs for a very long time, saying it's going to be Ripple. It's because of their long standing, and their ledger has been ongoing for so long. It's got that trust built into it, and that's why they're going to go with Ripple. It's a no-brainer.
That technology has been actually used for more than 10 years, so it's sort of lower risk. As a company, Ripple is about 11 years old, which is, fairly well established, and we've been running payment systems globally for 10 years.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.